Upfront and Outspoken with Bob Williams. If you love the Constitution,
man is not free unless government is limited.
If you love freedom,
as government expands, liberty contracts.
If you believe in personal responsibility, if you believe America is still the greatest nation on earth, then get ready for an experience you'll never forget. This is Upfront and Outspoken. Here's your host, Bob Williams.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
We're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write.
Yep, with that, this is Upfront Outspoken. Of course, I'm your host, Bob Williams, and you know what that means. That means it's time for my weekly rant. That's right, my weekly rant. And boy, do I have something that you all need to know about. And I am mad, along with probably half the country at this particular point in time. So you're saying, okay, Bob, what are you mad about this time? Simple. I am fed up with our federal government and those in charge lying to us. That's right, lying to us. And you're going to go, well, we know they always stretch the truth, but they don't lie. Yes, they are. We have heard over and over and over again from the CDC, including now President Obama, saying that we have this Ebola situation here in the United States under control. President Obama himself said it was highly unlikely that there would be a spread of the Ebola here in the United States. We heard that early this morning. We heard President Obama yesterday talking about how this Ebola is unlikely to spread here in the United States given our healthcare system. Well, guess what? We just found out early this morning we have another healthcare worker in Texas who took care of Thomas Eric Duncan, who has tested positive for Ebola. We have also heard that now 76 more people are under observation, and these are healthcare workers who came in contact with Johnson. 76 more, along with the 48 that already are there. That's 124 people. And yet the CDC is telling us, oh, we've got this under control. President Obama is lying right in front of everybody, saying, we got this under control. How can you have it under control when every day we turn on the news and we're finding out, guess what? Another person has got it. Another person has Ebola. How can we even listen to what these people are saying anymore? How can we believe what our own government is telling us? Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. A few days ago, I aired a segment in which we were told that 5 airports are going to have additional screening. Well, that's well and good. Additional screening. You answer a questionnaire, you get your temperature taken, and if you don't have a temp and this questionnaire looks good, you're in the country. But guess what? We're finding out 150 people per day come through these airports that were in countries like Liberia, Sierra Leone, Ghana. 150 people per day. 4,300 per month. 4,300 per month. That's a lot of people, folks. That's a lot of people that are coming into this country that have had contact with those countries. 4,300 a month. And mind you, we're sending 4,000 troops over to Liberia right now to help combat this thing. 4,000 of our soldiers are going over there, along with their equipment, to combat Ebola. What's going to happen when these 4,000 people come home? You don't think for 1 minute that one of them is going to test positive and we're going to have it all over again? 124 now are under observation. Bear that in mind. 124 people right now, right at this moment, are under observation. But that does not include a list of how many people that have had contact with these 124. Can you honestly tell me beyond a shadow of a doubt, every single one of the people these people came in contact with were under observation? Can you seriously believe it? If you believe that, I got a bridge in Brooklyn for you. I've got oceanfront property in Arizona to sell you, because it's impossible. Time and time and time again, I have asked people, can you remember everyone that you have come in contact with in the last 24 hours? Can you? Can you remember? You know what I get for an answer? No. Do you know their names? No. It's impossible. It's impossible. And yet they're expecting every one of these new 76 people that are under observation to do just that. To do just that. Every single person they came in contact with, they have to go back and find. So it's going to add. The ripple effect is already here, folks. This is here in the United States. And yet our government, our own government, the people we have elected or have been appointed to their positions, are downplaying the potential this thing is causing. I'm not trying to create a panic. No, that is not what I'm trying to do. I am trying to give you the facts. The facts are this thing is not under control as we're led to believe. I'm sorry. You may say it is. You may say, oh, we've got the best healthcare system in the country, therefore, in the world, therefore, we do have it under control. Well, what about Spain? What about Germany? They've got some of the top-notch people there, too. And yet, a patient died in Germany. Another one has it in Spain. We have it here in the United States. A second case now. A second case, folks. Remember that. Remember that. A second case. Along with the very first case, which is Thomas Eric Duncan, who passed away. While it is unfortunate that Mr. Duncan passed, it brings to the reality of how close our world really is. President Obama himself said it. It's only like 2 or 3 flights, and you're here in the United States. That's it. And with the world the way it is today, guess what? It's small. It's not like it was 100 years ago, 200 years ago. Where you get on a ship because airplanes weren't there, and it took you a week or longer to get here. Back in the days of the sail, it took months. Well, then it came to the cruisers. The Queen Mary. It only took a matter of days. Now it's just a matter of hours. Our world is not as big as you may think it is. You may look at the map geographically and see the thousands of miles that separates us from Africa and maybe thinking that, well, that's Africa. That's over there. It's not anymore. It's right here in our backyard, right here in Dallas, Texas. Right here in Dallas, Texas. The second reported case of Ebola. The second reported case of Ebola is right here, right now, in Dallas. How many more of these 76 people that have come in contact with Duncan are going to test positive for Ebola? Although the nurse that we initially heard about, she is improving. She's in good spirits. We're thankful for that. I'm very thankful for that. But this disease is here, and we all need to wake up. We need to hold our government officials accountable. We need to know. No more sugarcoating. No more hiding behind bureaucratic bullshit. We need to know the truth. Are you going to sit back and allow this to continue? Allow yourself to be spoon-fed, to have everything sugar-coated. We may have made a mistake. You blew it. Face it. Why don't you just come right flat out and say, hey, we blew it. We know we screwed up. We know we effed up. So here's what we're going to do. Not only are we getting this rapid response team assembled and available when it's needed, but guess what? We are going to buckle down even 10 times harder on anyone that comes in from these countries. There's been calls on Capitol Hill to ban all flights coming from that part of the world. Although you can't do that. You can't. It's impossible because other countries allow those flights in, and those people are going to transfer to a plane that's eligible to come here to the United States. So you can't ban international travel. You can't say that a direct flight from there, from Sierra Leone or from Liberia here to the United States, you can't ban the travelers. It's impossible. It's literally impossible because they'll just find another route to get here to the United States if they want to. So what do? We have questionnaires. We take your temperature. And if you pass on the questionnaire, well then guess what? You're going to be allowed in the country. Well, tomorrow, I want to bring up this fact. Tomorrow, Dr. Christy Bradley, I spoke with her a few weeks ago when we had the issue of the EVD-68 virus that was spreading across the country and which has now killed a couple of children. Dr. Christy Bradley is going to be my guest here tomorrow at 8 o'clock, and I'm going to ask her some of these very same poignant questions. And I'm not going to be surprised if I'm going to get hung up on, because you have a right to know. You, as the American people, have a right to know. We need to know what's on that questionnaire, because you cannot tell me you have not lied on a questionnaire. Either it be at census, either it be something else that would gain you free things, so you fudge it a little bit. You call it a white lie. Well, face it, it's a flat out frickin' lie. You lied on it. So what tells me you can't lie on this this questionnaire? What tells me you can't lie on this questionnaire? It makes me wonder. So we're going to ask her those questions. That's here tomorrow, 7 o'clock. So you want to make sure you're going to be here listening. Because, like I said, I may get her mad at me, and she may never want to come on my show again. But I'm sorry, folks. These are questions you need to know. You need answers without the sugarcoating, and that's exactly what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm fed up with our government lying to us, first telling us, oh, we've only got one. Well, then we got his family. Then we got some school children, which brought it up to 18. Then it brought it up to 48. Then it brought it up to 100. Now it's 124 in total. 124 with a potential 150 per day coming in on flights from that part of the world. From people who have been exposed to that part of the world. 150 per day. Face it, folks. 150 per day. 4,300 people a month. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. And you're going to be telling me that we're safe, we're secure, we're not going to have an outbreak. Well, we may not have this serious of an outbreak as what is going on in Liberia and Ghana and Sierra Leone. We may not have that type of outbreak. But the potential is now here, is now a reality, and yet our government, our people are hiding. They're not answering the tough questions that need to be asked. Why? Because it seems mainstream media is afraid to ask those questions. They don't want to have you know to make critical thinking, to decide for yourself what is best for you, what is best for your family, what is best for your country. They don't want you to know that information, so they're going to sugarcoat it because they don't want to upset the apple cart. They don't want to upset the apple cart. Well, there's guys like me out there that are going to upset the apple cart. They're going to make you face up to fact. I'm not trying to cause a panic, and I'm not trying to cause a riot, and I'm not trying to cause you to go out and demonstrate. I'm not trying to cause that. But what I am trying to cause, I'm trying to make you think of the reality of what the hell is going on in this country right now. Two people are now confirmed positive. One is being treated. The other one being treated. We don't know who the other healthcare worker is, but we do know it's a healthcare worker that was right there in the same room with Thomas Eric Duncan. We do know that that person was treating him. Something went wrong. And the thing is these people are professionals who evidently abided by what they were told. They had the protective gear on. And then you're hearing from the nurse, a head nurse herself, who says these people are going in with a mask, a face shield, double layer gloves, in the protective suit, the booties, and yet the people at the CDC have a full hazmat suit. But yet the nurses and who are treating these patients don't have that. So there is a failure. The failure is on the part of, do you blame the hospital or do you blame the government? My honest opinion is you blame where the buck stops, and that's the government, because they should supply these hospitals with the same gear that the CDC has when they examine, test, and research infectious diseases, but yet they don't. They don't give this to the hospitals. And now look what happened. Two healthcare workers who probably, in my judgment, and this is all I can tell you, this is my judgment and my opinion, and you know what they say about opinions, but this is my opinion. I truly believe these people followed protocol. They were told. I honestly want to believe that they followed protocol. But yet something went horribly, horribly wrong. And now we have two people who have tested positive for the Ebola. And our government has been sugarcoating things. President Obama, highly unlikely of a U.S. spread. The guy from the CDC says we've assembled a rapid response team if something like this would occur again. Day late, dollar short. The barn door is already open. Now how big of a flood comes through that is yet to be determined. How big of a flood, how big of an impact is that going to have on the American people is yet to be determined. But I can tell you this much. I am fed up to the gills with our government lying to us. We need answers. We don't want sugarcoating. We need to know how far out this thing is actually going. So far, like we know, 124 people are under observation, but yet every single day, as I can't stress this enough, I cannot stress this enough, 150 people per day are coming through the very same 5 airports that have enacted tougher, what can I say, screening into this country from areas like Sierra Leone and from Liberia and from Ghana, from those areas. They have a questionnaire. They take your temperature. If everything checks out, you're allowed in. 150 people per day, ladies and gentlemen, are coming into this country. 4,300 a month are coming into this country that may or may not, and I got to say that, may or may not, have been in an area where this disease is highest. 150 people per day. Do we ban all those flights? We can't. Come on, let's just face it. That's an impossibility. Do we ban all international flights? We can't. That's an impossibility. But people are going to find means, if they leave that part of the country, to get on other flights from other countries like, say, Sweden, from France, from maybe Italy. And then they're going to come here to the United States where we have direct flights. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. The door is open. The world is smaller. You all better face it. This is not 100 years ago when flight was in its very, very infancy. And the only way you could get from Africa or from Italy or from, even England was by ships like the ill-fated Titanic. That was the only way you could get here because there was no plane, large enough that could cross the ocean. This is the 21st century, folks. You're only hours away from Africa, from the UK, from China, from Australia. You're only hours now. You're only hours away. The world is a lot smaller. Granted, size-wise, it hasn't changed. It hasn't just suddenly shrunk. But because of the modes of transportation we now have available, and it looks like into the future, it might even take less time, the potential of getting these diseases here in the United States has even gone higher, and it will continue to escalate. As we affect climate, as we affect all this, this is the kind of stuff we can expect. But right now, folks, right now, if I were you, I would get on the phone to my congressman, I would get on my phone to my senator, I would say, I want answers. We, the American people, deserve and demand answers. No more hiding, no more sugarcoating. We want answers. And if we don't get them, you're leaving office, and we're going to get somebody in there that's not going to lie to us anymore, that's not going to, sugarcoat things. We want to know the truth. And this is the situation the way it is right now. We're being lied to, and I am fed up. I am mad as hell because we are being lied to. It's got to stop. It has to stop. And the only way it's going to stop is if you start becoming active in the politics around you, the politicians, and you start questioning. You start asking the vital questions that are important to you. And with that, it is time for me to get on out of here. Stay tuned because coming up at the bottom of the hour, none other than Ed Till. He'll be with you all the way up until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Until tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., this is Bob Williams. Take care of yourselves.